Hello, boys and girls. So today we are going to be finishing up those beautiful Cityscape snow globes. We're going to put all the pieces together. So I'm going to do one right now so you can see how it goes. So our first step, we are going to take our sky painting and turn that into a circle. So it will be a snow globe. So we'll have paper plates out at the table. So you can trace the plate, you can give a little bit of space if you want to do a bigger snow globe. I would say first find the spot of your painting that you definitely want the snow globe to be in. So I like this blending here, so I definitely want to include that. So I'm going to trace mine a little off center to include that part. Now I'm going to go around the plate a little bit, because I want my snow globe to be real big. So trace it, set it aside. I think it's easier to see the lines if you do it on the back. So I'm gonna do that, and then cut it out. So there is my circle. All done. Now I have already cut out my buildings. So the next thing we're gonna do is arrange them how you like them on the snow globe. So I would definitely look at the circle and see what you want to include. I think I'm gonna do it like that. I also saved my extra, and I'm gonna tell you why in a second, but don't throw that away just yet. Now, when we go in and start gluing our buildings to create our cityscape, before you do that, I would say lay these out the way you want them. You could have some that overlap. They do need to go a little bit off the edge of the paper, so make sure that they do. And if you have gaps, that's fine, or if you want to put them more towards the middle. So I think it looks pretty good like that. So I'm gonna do some dots of glue on my cityscape here. Now, you always, when you're gluing your shapes down, you want to smooth it and hold it for a second. That will give the glue a chance to catch onto the paper, which is always important. But you definitely want both corners of the bottom of your building to go off the edge of the globe. And you'll see why in a second. So little dots, not a lot. Now, if you have really good doors, like I took a lot of time drawing out my doors, so I want to make sure that those still show up. So you can do just a tiny little bit hanging off the bottom there, but not too much, because we want to make sure that we see those. So just a little bit, smooth it out, hold it for a second. Now, once all of our buildings are attached to the snow globe, then we're going to flip it and cut the excess off. So I'm gonna get this one glued on here, smooth it. I'm gonna hold all of these down, make sure they're attached right where I want them. Now I'm gonna flip over, and all of this excess that's down here, we're just gonna snip off. Slide that out of the way, and ta-da! There's our beautiful snow globe. All right, so my next step is going to be, I will have a little section in the back of little strips of paper. We're gonna create the stand for our snow globe. Now, if you wanted to just do a rectangle and have it sitting on that, that would be fine. If you want to angle it, I think most snow globes kind of go inward like that a bit. I think that's a little more authentic. So I'm gonna do mine like that, and I'm just gonna put couple little dots of glue up there. Now my snow globe has a stand. Make sure that's glued on. And then we're going to glue this onto a big sheet of black paper. So I've got one right here. We've got a nice big square. I'm gonna find, oh, I made mine a little too big. That's fine. Oh, it fits actually perfectly, good. And I'm gonna, once again, smooth it, hold it for a second, so let that glue attach. Now, since we're moving on to a new sheet of paper, I'm gonna have to make sure I flip it. And use white crayons are best, but you know, really anything as long as your name gets on there. And we have our finished snow globe, and then the fun final part. In the back, I will have a little section for white paint where we're gonna splatter, because you know, what's a snow globe without some snow? So there's gonna be a white paint out and a little brush with water. Now, to splatter the paint, you're just going to take the wet brush. Now you do want it to be nice and wet because that's gonna loosen the paint up, and so it'll splatter nice and easy. Get some paint on that brush, and then we're going to go and, you see with my hand, just tap the brush like this over top. That'll give you a little more control because you don't want to cover your buildings with a lot of snow because we took a lot of time drawing those details. So dip in the paint, maybe I'll add a little water to it, and then gently tap, 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 and you can see the paint starting to come off. We got a light little snow drizzle there. And I'm gonna make sure I have some in the buildings, because you do want to see a little snow falling over there. And voila, it is finished. So that's how we're gonna finish up our beautiful snow globes today. So make sure you check on the rack. I will have a checklist of all these steps so you can go through them and get it completed. Hope you enjoyed that. Have fun.